Hi everyone, so I'm back. I'm actually fishing somewhere completely new. I'm actually really excited as well. So I have just joined a new club. Thought fancy the change, you know. So yeah, I fished here last weekend with my dad. I just did a day session, the same as I'm doing today. Last weekend my tactics were very different to what I'm doing this weekend. So last weekend it was sort of like, well, I've not fished this lake before. We'll sort of start from the car park and work our way around, trying different swims, giving each swim a couple of hours, just seeing what's happening. Morning started off, didn't have anything, so I moved right around the lake, and this lake's it goes from deep in the middle to shallow at the ends, I'd say. It's a horseshoe shape as well, so when you're in certain swims you can't see the whole lake, which is slightly annoying because you can't see where the fish are, but I guess it's not too bad if you kind of get your own water a bit more. And everyone's fishing into the middle, you're sort of fishing into different nooks and crannies. So I came armed with just dog mixers covered in the Mainline Activate syrup, just to give them a little something than just plain old dog biscuits. I normally just soak them in that overnight or leave it soaking for like a week before I go fishing. So I was catapulting those out, and thankfully there's not a lot of bird life on here, so it's not hard trying to catch them on top. The only problem is the fish, for some reason they're not interested for very long. I noticed that once I catapulted the baits out, when they'd hit the water, the fish was there. 5 minutes feeding, disappeared again. And it was really weird. I've never really seen, other than one lake I used to fish, I've not really seen anything like it. I lost 2 carp. So because I've never fished anywhere that's this shallow before, I'm not used, normally because I fish deep lakes, I'm used to the fish going down. I wasn't aware that it was as shallow as I thought it was, and the fish, instead of going down when they grabbed the bait, they went like that and kited off to the left or to the right. This lake also has a lot of lily pad beds, so they kind of both times kited off to the left or to the right, and I lost it. I mean, I was gutted. I tried really hard to lose 2 fish, but it has sort of let me have an insight into what the fish, what they feed like, what they do, stuff like that. And I was shocked because although that day started off sunny and warm, it went overcast and cold very quickly, and there was a choppy wind that was hitting the surface and making a couple of waves. So I was really shocked that the fish stayed on top all afternoon. There wasn't as many as it got really overcast, and it was late afternoon, 3-4 o'clock time, but they were still there, and that's what shocked me. But I didn't have anything on the zig either. So yeah, I thought I'd just do the day today, and I'm just looking for things, so I'm kind of just writing things down as I do it. So I've always got my marker rod with me because I'm seeing where the depths are, if there's any hard spots, that sort of thing. I thought I'll come into this area that I call the woods. It basically is a huge woods. There's a lot of trees, and you can it's a great place to kind of tuck yourself away and disappear from the world. Minimal swim signal. I look out now and I can't see any other swim apart from the one that's over there where my dad is. And there's about 10 swims on this big bit of area. It's great. I do really like it on here. There's a lot of trees and stuff, and there's quite a bit of coverage, but you've also got a lot of things in the water. So you've got lily pads, reed lines, bushes that are going out into the margin. And the swim I'm in is sort of where it goes from deep to shallow in the middle. And I know, so yeah, I'm kind of fishing here. I've changed my tactics. I did walk around earlier, and there's 2 swims that are in the shallow back bay where I lost them 2 fish. I did put some dog biscuits out when I was walking around, but I saw like 1 or 2 fish under the surface, but it wasn't enough for me just to go and think I'll move all my gear around there, especially when this is quite bumpy and stuff, and you risk a barrow tipping over, and I thought it's not really worth me going all the way around there. So I've stuck it out here. Catapulting boil is over my left hand spot, and I've been fishing, I've not been fishing too far out. There's some people fishing on the other bank, and one of them sort of got their rod to his left, so she's up in front of me. So I've not fished too far out because it is quite narrow where I'm fishing. It goes sort of from really big water to narrow sort of canal to another big set of water. So that's where I'm fishing. And like I said, I'm kind of just swapping and changing rigs, depths, that sort of thing, getting my marker rod out, having a feel around, that sort of thing. But it is really nice here. It's very pretty and very quiet. There's not many people fishing at all, which I'm very shocked about. Like, we came down last Sunday and me and my dad had the whole lake to ourselves. It was crazy. You would have expected, especially a club lake, to be more anglers on here, like of all different types of anglers. Really wasn't, and it was really weird. Hopefully I catch, and I don't want to lose any more, because that kills me. When you spend so much time getting fish, especially surface fishing when you get them feeding on top, just to lose two good fish as well, the sort of fish that make like massive bow waves through the water from their shoulders. It was hard, but other than that, it's great. I love it here. It's a new adventure. What more could you ask for? I'm fishing again. Managed to plug my microphone in the right place this time, which I can't believe I did. So I did a whole other video earlier in the swim I originally started in. Plugged my microphone in the wrong hole, didn't I? Didn't even work. It's been one of them days. So I started off further down the end of the lake. I was fishing the swim opposite where I was in my last video. Couldn't find not really anything that interested me on the bottom. Saw a few fish. Wasn't really anything keeping me up that end. So I decided to move down further towards the car park where I'd seen quite a few fish. Had nothing, absolutely nothing. I got here about 7, decided I'd head down there. And I just didn't have anything. The fish were showing everywhere, so it was sort of, anywhere really. There was no specific place that I thought I'd want to fish. So I started down there, finally got my rods out at about 7:30, 8 sort of time. Once I'd marked up, found some spots. There was no sort of hard gravel or anything out there. It was sort of like hard silt type stuff. There was a bit of weed, but I was fishing past it. But yeah, there wasn't really anything over there. And it's towards the shallow water. It's been a weird day. It's been bright and then overcast and cold, and the wind's kind of moved about loads. So not the best day for it. My dad's piking and I'm just carping. I think I'm going to come down next weekend and hopefully do a night. I think that's what I want to do, because there's been a lot of people that have been doing night sessions and catching more in the night. So I think here there's going to be a bite time, because obviously it's my third trip, so I don't know much about the lake. In my head at the moment, from what I've heard from regular anglers on here, that I'm assuming there's a bite time from sort of like sort of late evening to mid-morning, because whenever we've got here from like 6 to 7, the fish have been showing loads. So I'm guessing it's them sort of late to early hours that you're going to be catching. But also from what I've heard from people is if you're on the spots, you'll catch. So it's just, I think it's just a waiting game at the moment, because I don't know anything about the water. I'm going to try and, when I've found spots, I've been writing them down so I know in my head like certain areas. But there are so many swims on here that people don't fish, and it makes you really wonder why. Plus, I don't know if the margins are worth fish being fished here, because, like I said, I've not fished here before. It's my third trip, so it's all just a learning curve, really. So I don't think I'm going to be staying long. It's about 4 o'clock, I reckon. Yeah, like I said, I videoed in the other swim earlier. Didn't actually plug my microphone in properly. Did the same thing last weekend. Didn't plug the microphone in properly. At first, when I listened back to my tape, because I fished last weekend, I caught 7 fish. Was like, oh, it'd be a great vlog for my YouTube. Didn't plug the microphone in, so you didn't actually hear me talking. I've got a few sort of like clips, so if I might post them up if you guys want to see that sort of stuff, but it's quite general. And I was going to do a chatty vlog, but obviously the microphone, I didn't think it was plugged in properly. Wasn't actually plugged in the right place. I said to my dad, oh, I hope I plugged my microphone in properly. He goes, did you plug it in the right place? I was like, there's only one place you can plug it in. Brain fart, realised there's 2 places that you can plug stuff in. I wasn't plugging it in the right one. So yeah, but I'll probably end up showing you what bait I'm using, just to give you a bit of an up close type thing. But yeah, curve. And I mean, it's only my 3rd trip, so technically I'm not too bothered that I haven't caught. It's not like I've been doing like 30 nights or whatever and I haven't caught. It's not overly bothering me. It's nice to be out fishing. So I thought I'd just take a few moments out just to show you the bait that I'm using. So on the multi-rig, I'm using these. I've not actually used them before. This is my first time using them. Oh, meaty goodness. These are the Activate pop-ups from Mainline. They're brilliant. They're quite soft and they leak a good lot of oil. But I've been using these on my multi-rigs because I wanted a pop-up that matched the boilie that I'm using. So I'm using Mainline Activate boilies. So I'm using these, and then on the other rod, which is a KD, I'm using a homemade pop-up that I have made myself, which is Activate with added black pepper oil. I've got two colours, and a couple sizes. I'll take it out like this, so that you can see. So I've got pinks and I've got yellows. And they're in 16s and 12s. I was using the 12s on my KD and I was just trimming them down a bit so they're a bit of a rough shape, but they smell really nice, and they're just in the Ridge Monkey pots, which are good for storage because I like having all my pop-ups in one place, except obviously things like this that are in a tub already, because where I roll these myself I don't have tubs, so these are brilliant for putting them in, and I can put my own like glug and stuff in here and get them out easily. So I do like these pots. They are handy to have, especially when you're rolling your own bait. Even if you just want to have pots that are all the same size, because you know it's a nightmare trying to fit all your pots everywhere, especially in a bait bag. So I don't carry a bait bag, so it's just handy having it all in that. And then every time I'm casting out, I'm just plugging both rigs in the hook bait enhancement system, which again is Activate from Mainline, which is brilliant. It's really oily. I go through quite a lot of this, but I just dip my bag and my rig in it just to give it that little bit of extra like flavour. And then again, I'm just using a PVO bag with the Spodding PVO pellet mix. My bags are fairly big, really. Yeah, they're good. And then I'm just either dipping them in that or I'm glugging them in the syrup, so I'm just putting a little syrup over it and rubbing it in to get the flavour. That's all I'm really doing. Then I'm just baiting up with a mixture of whole boilie, boilie that's been crushed in my quarter crusher, and hemp, all with this coated over it. And I'm just spreading it out over my spot. But I haven't had anything, so I don't know what I might do next time because I've fished just boilie here and I've fished particle and boilie. I think I need a bit of time to work my spots so that I can get it going, than just do a day session, because I haven't really done a whole day. I've done like a couple hours, so I think that's what I'll do. But that's just all I'm using. It's really simple, really. I was using a snowman rig this morning with the same my homemade pop-up, but just with an Activate boilie. I had nothing on that, so I thought I'd change to a KD because I was catching on that last weekend and I'm fairly confident on the rig, so I thought I'd do that. But haven't had anything, and it's gutting because I've seen fish, but hopefully when I do my night next week I'll catch.